So the Joker, the character, is one that has problems with reality. By the way, I still can't believe this is the same director as The Hangover. I find that insane. I think it's man. I mean, both are great films, but anyways, I digress. I So the Joker has problems with reality. He's got problems with the mean, ill-intentioned people who he encounters regularly that turn him into who he is. And B, he has problems with reality because he has trouble grasping sometimes or discerning what's really happening versus what isn't. So now we're about to get into spoilers. If you don't want to hear spoilers from the Joker, you can click to my channel and learn about interesting buildings like this and and raps I did using that about buildings. If you're interested, you might enjoy them or you might hate them and want to leave a thumbs down and a negative comment. Free country, go right ahead. So spoilers. The film, man, there was a lot of social commentary and a lot of things that relate to current events, in my opinion. So the first thing that makes us realize that he is hallucinating things and he's not fully sane is when he develops a relationship with his neighbor. And then we see him realize that he had hallucinated the whole thing. It seemed a lot like Fight Club to me, even though I'm sure other films have done it, where we see the moments that we had seen earlier, but this time it's just him without the other character, and it's starting to make sense to him. Now, the interesting thing about this is, let's say, now almost everything is up for grabs. Like, we can start to question a lot of things because of this. So, another thing I wanted to talk about was the Joker character is on a lot of medication in the film, which becomes clear. I think probably I've only watched it once, but I think it becomes. I mean, it just came out, so I think it becomes clear around like a quarter in, um, or earlier than that. And then there's this scene with the shooting where he's in the train and is defending himself basically, and ends up shooting three people. So this may or may not be considered a mass shooting. Some sources say a mass shooting is when there are four victims. Some say there's anything more than one. So the film is also, I think, on that line there. Just man, I'm saying a lot here. I'm gonna try to do better at this. So I think a possible reading of this is that is about the link that has been shown between certain medications and mass shooters. Now, correlation is not causation, and obviously, medication can be a very good thing, but there's been a disproportionately high number of shooters, according to some sources. I don't know for sure, but shooters that were on antidepressants. So I think the film was showing this, and it did something that isn't done a lot, which is get inside the mind of the shooter and show you that perspective, which is something I've seen Jordan Peterson do in lectures. I've never read any of his books, but he's also talked about it in lectures, and it seems like according to him, a very difficult thing to grasp, and I do not doubt that. And so this film also just like made me understand that viscerally. That these are very complex issues. It's like, is he a good guy or a bad guy? I mean, the Joker in the history of Batman is obviously a bad guy, but it's not so clear in this film. There are a lot of external factors, and that could lead into a conversation about free will and whatnot. Sam Harris has talked about the dude who killed a bunch of people and then said, I hope someone would look at my brain and examine it. I think there's something wrong with it. I'm a good guy. I don't want to do this. And then they looked at his brain, and then there was, I think, a tumor growing, pressing against the certain part of it. I forget which part, but anyway. So, and then the other thing that's hinted at is Thomas Wayne being the Joker's father. Now, I don't think that he is, from my interpretation from the film. Again, I have to see it again, but the argument can be made that even though we see evidence in the film that his mother is a narcissist and fabricated certain things and made up the whole story about her relationship with Thomas Wayne, it is possible that it happened and then Thomas Wayne had the whole thing covered up, because he's not goody two shoes in this film like he has been in other Batman films. So I can see the argument either way. I lean towards she imagined it, because when he got his records from her in the asylum and read about him being a kid, being chained to the radiator and having bruises all over his body, he didn't seem shocked by it. It seemed like things were starting to make sense, which makes me think the way I interpret it is the correct way to interpret it. But he was on a lot of medication, so it's possible that he's not seeing clearly, and he has been shown to hallucinate in the film. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all I got. Since this is a live video, I can't go into Adobe Premiere and add things in here. Oh, that's actually not Premiere. Anyways, I probably can. I see someone's watching this. I have no idea who it is, but whoever you are, thanks for watching this. I'm planning on keeping this up for a while. Let's see. Anyways, amazing film. I highly recommend it. I was very powerful, very thought-provoking, and I may or may not watch it again. I saw with my good friend Arby from the Arby Show. Check out his podcast on iTunes. I've been a guest on there on episodes 3 and 4.